SEO these days is hard. You can have the perfect mix of high volume keywords, you can write the best content out there, you can interlink it meticulously, and even after months, maybe even years, you can still be sat there with no real results. You're only getting a few hundred search results into your website a month, and it's just not the ROI and the sort of glory that you were expecting from all this lovely organic traffic you were meant to be getting from search engines, right? It's a tactic that seems to be working for all your competitors and all the SEO experts and consultants and gurus out there. They all recommend, and you're doing everything by the letter of the law, but it's still not working. So what if you could find an SEO tactic that would almost guarantee you traffic, is easy to execute, your competitors aren't doing it, and realistically only 1% of people out there are even attempting this tactic? That would be pretty epic, right? Well, that's literally what I've got for you today. And it's so simple that you're probably now not believing me and wondering, well, if it's that good, why is everyone else not using this tactic? Well, I don't really know why no one's doing this, or 99% of people aren't doing this, but I don't know, it's something that's hidden in plain sight, and maybe it just doesn't look as fancy or as clever as all the big complicated SEO strategies and tactics and hacks out there. And what I can promise you is by the end of this video, you're going to have everything you need to go out and find hundreds of content ideas that are pretty much guaranteed to make it easy for you to get traffic to your website from Google organically. And even better, they're probably going to be customers that are going to be much higher converting and not just going after that vanity of volume. It's going to be easy to get good quality traffic that your competitors are just ignoring. Let's think about something for a second. If you have a really, really targeted audience or particular person you want to reach, it could be a particular C-suite person in a specific industry or anyone else with a very specific set of problems or singular problem. Well, when you actually break it down, there might only be a few hundred or a few thousands of these people in the world. For a lot of businesses, that's the case. Their audience isn't everyone in the world. It's a very, very small subsection of a demographic. And when your demographic is broken down that small, there might not be registering the huge search volumes that you want to go after for SEO traffic. It just might not exist. These hundreds or thousands of people just aren't in enough volume to be registering their data within SEO tools and the usual metrics you might look at. Or the problem just might not be concentrated enough for people to be searching in exactly the same way every time to generate these high volume keywords or topics, right? And so if you look and use keyword research tools like SEMrush or Ahrefs in a traditional way, you might not even see these keywords and these topics appearing, and they might be registered as they have zero volume. These are what are known as zero volume keywords. And for a lot of businesses, those will get siphoned out immediately. They'll just get ignored. Some of the bigger businesses and publications will have directives that they're not allowed to go after anything that's less than 100 or 500 search volume a month. And for the rest of the industries, they might just be ignoring them because zero is a bad number, right? And that's good news, because while everyone else is ignoring these topics, you can go after them with zero competition. Now, I know what you're thinking, zero volume keywords, there's just not any organic traffic, there's actually no one searching for these things. Stop wasting my time, Elliot. Jump into some examples so I can prove to you what I mean and that this stuff actually works. All right, this is data I've got from a live Google Search Console of a zero volume keyword that we went after for one website. As you can see here, 2.42 clicks in the last 3 months and over 25,000 impressions, and even a click-through rate of 9.4%, which is higher than most people expect to see on their content. And in fact, almost 10% click-through rate is insanely high these days with everything that's going on in search. And this was for a zero volume keyword that we picked out for the page. And when we go into it, actually the keyword that we picked out for this ski website, actually for a ski school, was how to ski from Val Thorens to Courchevel. That might sound like gobbledygook to you, but for someone who's skiing, taking a ski holiday in the Three Valleys, for example, that's a very, very useful thing to know and is very relevant to a ski school, perhaps, or a ski guiding service in the Three Valleys. Now, the first thing to note is this doesn't show up on any keyword tools, or it shows up as zero. And yes, it's getting 36 clicks from 82 impressions over the last 3 months, right? Which is still quite low, I'll grant you that. But what you actually come to realize is look at this huge list of keywords that are also zero volume that have stacked up over the months and weeks to build an insane amount of traffic to this page. And for a keyword that we were targeting that got 0 searches, actually a little bit of intuition told us it's probably going to be higher than that. People are probably going to be searching more than that. And actually we're seeing thousands, and that's going to be thousands and thousands over this year and over the following years to come. And as you can see, if we jump over to Search Console here, which is one of the keyword research tools I use, how to ski from Val Thorens to Courchevel, it's a 0 volume across the world. It doesn't have any data to show for this keyword. All it says is it's very easy, which it is. Like, there's no one else really competing on this search term. So it's ranking within even hours a lot of the time when we go after these 0 volume keywords, and there's no competition there. And that serves another benefit of, if you're the only one writing about a subject, you're the inherent source of that subject. You're the topical authority on that subject. So when you start breaking your subjects you're going after, yes, you can have your high volume keywords, but if you're adding in these low volume keywords and using a bit of industry and intuition into what people are going to be searching for, then you can pick up this search volume that apparently doesn't exist, and you can paint yourself as the authority on a particular industry or subject or topic or niche, because simply no one else is writing this stuff, and that has insane value and will trickle up and help your website. You've heard of the phrase, a rising tide lifts all ships, right? So the more traffic we can gain from these zero volume keywords, the whole ship of our SEO is going to rise, and that topical authority of all the other content work you've done is going to rise with it as well, as you start building this super easy, almost guaranteed traffic, right? Let's take another example. We're going to go, I've been trying to buy a house in the last few years and stuff like that, and I had a lot of questions around surveyors for houses and stuff like that. And I actually had a client doing as a surveyor. So, and this is a tactic that worked really well for them, searching for 0 volume keywords. Now, again, in a keyword research tool like SEMrush, you search in a broad term like surveyor, for example, it's just going to spit out, all the usual industry stuff. The high volume things that are probably gone after by some quite big sites, although the keyword difficulty doesn't look hugely difficult. If you're struggling with your SEO already, then going after these search terms probably isn't going to help on its own. Not to say you shouldn't write content for them, but we need to back it up with something more guaranteed to bring you traffic, basically. So we could go and set some filters up. We can do it anyway. We could just filter down by the volume tab here, maybe even throw in some questions, things like that, to go and start surfacing some sort of questions that people and potential customers might be asking. And straight away you can see that all sorts of things come up. Are all surveyors RICS? That's the type of qualification. Are bank surveyors to be trusted? Should you be trusting the surveyor that your mortgage company and your bank recommend, right? So there's any number of things that are supposedly coming up with 0 volume, right? But I bet that just because the question's registered in this tool, there are people, and I know I've had these questions myself, that I've probably Googled some of them. And you can see just the amount of questions that you can start picking up and the amount of keywords that you can start finding, and just going through and using your intuition. Is this a problem for people? Are people actually searching for this thing? If you're embedded in an industry, then you'll know yes or no whether this is a problem for people. So great. It's so easy. You just go and write content to address these problems for people. If you're looking for another way as well to come up with stuff, we can do the same. There's a tool called Also Asked. We can also go to a tool like, there's Also Asked, there's Answer the Public, this is a Neil Patel tool actually, which is go and help you find all the other questions that people are asking on Google, and you can kind of ignore search volume and all those traditional metrics we go after. What we're doing here is we're picking out questions and keywords that people in our industry that we're looking to target, that we're using our intuition to say, yeah, that is a problem, and I'm pretty sure people are going to be searching for that topic, even if the tools tell me otherwise. So let's try a similar search term in here. I know it's a pretty broad search term surveyor, but we're going to see what it churns out and see what sort of questions we can start finding to just literally go and build content for. It's really that easy to go and get those sort of 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. I've had them upwards of 8,000, 9,000 searches a month when it all comes out and sort of delivers its results. So here straight away, and immediately we can see all these great questions that probably don't have a lot of volume or probably aren't that difficult to find. We can start going through all these and start building a really great topical authority plan. Can surveyors draw plans? Can surveyor fees be capitalized? Can a surveyor be wrong? Will a surveyor check for asbestos? All these sorts of terms that you might not find initially through normal keyword research methods quickly come out the wash, go and collect them all up and go and start writing content for these keywords. And I guarantee you, even if you don't have a very authoritative website, if you have a website of any trust with Google, you will start getting traffic. I guarantee it. It's that simple. It's that easy.